Morning everybody. Well, it's morning for me anyway. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back out into the landscape. I'm having a bit of a frustrating morning, if I'm being brutally honest with you. So I've come to a lake or a reservoir known as Thirlmere. Come to a bay, which you can see in front of me, or you can see in front of me. And I've made that fatal mistake, or at least fatal for me, of coming somewhere with some kind of preconception, which doesn't normally work for me, if I'm being brutally honest. But I came here with this idea of, you know, a body of water, pretty little stones on the shore, and, you know, views of the mountains beyond. But unfortunately, that's not what I've got. What I've got is a water level that's, I think, actually quite low, or at least lower than I thought it would be. There's a little bit of a breeze that's whipped up, and that's disturbing the lake surface. Also, the sun's out, which I wasn't expecting. The cloud prediction for today was a lot heavier than I'm actually encountering. And yeah, slightly frustrated, and if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I was going to call it bust and I was going to go home. Now, when I got here, the sun was behind some clouds, so it was a bit dull, it was a bit grey, it was a bit uninteresting, which I actually thought would be perfect for, you know, rocks and, you know, a low contrast subject. Well, that's not what I've got. But a few minutes after getting here, the sun burst through and it started to show splashes of colour all around. Now, I'm one of these people that I firmly believe that no matter where I am, there's always a photograph to be had. There's always something that you can find that encapsulates your reaction to the place or the atmosphere of the place that you're in. And this is one of the rare occasions in the landscape where I'm really pleased that the sun did come out, because it's illuminated a spit of land out in the distance, which is going to be incredibly hard to capture on video camera because of the brightness of the light. And if the sun happens to go in again behind some cloud, I'll try and show you on the back of the camera, but if it doesn't, then you're just going to have to take my word for it. But there's a spit of land out in front of me, I don't know, 50, 7,500 meters away, something like that, with some Scots pines on it. And Scots pines have got a very definite shape to them. But right on the end of this spit of land is a tree in full autumn colour, or near enough full autumn colour. And because of the angle of the sun, it's just glowing. Okay, so as I mentioned, the sun is rising. So it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. So the sun is actually still rising in the sky. And hopefully you can see on the back of my camera there, the tree that I was talking about. So there's this spit of land, there's a tree here in full autumn colour, and then these Scots pines around it. Now, I've artificially made the screen brighter than it needs to be, so that you can see it on the video. Now, compositionally, I was kind of thinking square. Just make it square. Sort of, maybe sort of there-ish. But I think in post, I would probably lop off that bright silvery lake off the bottom. So I was already thinking that in post I'd actually be trimming the frame, so in which case then there's not much point in being a square. What I may as well do is capture the scene completely and fully, with maybe a little bit of space all around it, so I can maybe go for a slightly unconventional frame size when I get into post, which isn't generally my approach, if I'm being brutally honest with you. But I think this is, you know, we're trying to make the best of what we've got. Now, you might actually be able to see on camera now that because the sun's come up a bit, this tree is starting to get lost in the fells beyond. If I just replay that image there, hopefully you can see that was my original vision, with the the fell beyond really in shadow, but the tree illuminated, and that's what I originally saw. That's not what we've got now, but it doesn't really matter, because I'm just trying to demonstrate the composition. Focus was manual, zooming in and doing the usual thing. And I'm focusing on the tree because that's my subject. That's what I'm trying to talk about. f5.6. I'm going to back the exposure off quite a lot because I want to try and get that fell side in the background as indistinct as possible. I mean, this frame clearly isn't going to work because now the fell in the background is definitely a lot more illuminated. I'll give it a try, because you never know, in post I might be able to play with it. Camera is level, 2-second timer, bosh. Now, if I wasn't stood here holding an umbrella over the back of the LCD so you can see it, I would have also put my hand over the front of the lens just to shield it from the sun. So I think what I might do now is do that really, really quickly before the fell side in the background gets too more illuminated. Chuck my brolly on the floor and just capture it one more time, and then hopefully in post I can have a play with it and rescue it, maybe. Okay, just to demonstrate the holding the hand over the lens, so I'm all locked off, manual focus, nothing to play with. I'll take a look at the front and literally just hold my hand over the front of the lens. And because I'm on a 2-second timer, I can just push the button, hold my hand, click. And then that just stops any ghosting that might occur by having this, some sunlight flare into the lens. This is where having an EVF is brilliant. Oh, in fact, my hand is in the middle of the picture. There we go. Another tip, always review the picture afterwards, because if I hadn't realized that, I would have gone home and I would have been really quite annoyed with myself that I had done that. So quite surprised by that, actually, because it's really... Do that one more time. There we go, click, click. And again, we'll just review the image. That's better. I think maybe first time round, I was holding my hand to the side of the lens as opposed to above. And maybe that was the wrong thing to actually do. Right, so I'm going to process that image. I shall show it to you shortly. But again, a really good example, certainly for me anyway, of just taking a little bit of time to step back and consider the possibilities and then embrace those possibilities. And of course, this scene around me and in front of me, that will forever change as the sun rises up in the sky. So maybe I'll hang around for a little bit longer and see what other long lens possibilities are actually here. So I'm going to leave this video here, but I hope it's been interesting. And hopefully it encourages you to break out your long lens every once in a while. Like, comment and subscribe as usual, guys. And as ever, I am very grateful to you for your support. Until the next one, stay safe, stay well, keep exploring with your camera. See you soon.